All right, we're doing lesson 4.1, Graphing Technology Lab, Real World Data. So first we'll start with step 1, which involves entering the data that they give us about time versus the water bottle that's draining. So we'll start by turning the calculator on, and we need to enter the data. So we'll go to Stat, and then hit Enter on Edit. And if you want to clear the data, go up here, press Clear, Enter, and then over here, Clear, Enter. So now we'll enter our data, 0, enter, like this. Okay, and then we'll go over here to our water level data. So this is going down because the water bottle is draining. Oops. $34.3. $30.1. Okay. Now we want to calculate the regression equations. So we'll go to Stat, Calc, and we'll first start with linear regression. So hit Enter, and then Enter. And here's our linear regression information. And now we'll go to y equals, and I don't want either of these plots on. I just want plot 1 on. And then for my equation here, I'm going to press vars and then down to statistics. Vars stands for variables, and my variable that I want to enter is my equation, my regression equation here. So now it's entered what it just calculated. Now if I graph it, let's see what we get. Oh, window range, okay. So we'll go into the window, and our data over here goes from 0 to 220 on the x. So we'll go from 0 to 220, and then for y, it goes from about 30 to 43. So we'll go from 30 to 43. Now let's see if it works, okay? All right, so we see our data and we see our line. It's possible that your stat plot isn't set up. So if that's the case, you can press second, y equals to go to the stat plot. Make sure that plot 1 is on and that your x list is L1, your y list is L2, and that it's on. Okay, so now in our graph we see our linear regression, and we want to compare it to the quadratic regression. So we'll go here now back to stat, and now instead of linear regression, we're going to go down one more to quadratic regression. Hit Enter, and then Enter, and this is our quadratic equation. So notice they give us values for a, b, and c in our y equals ax squared plus bx plus c form. And then we'll go into y equals, and that for our second equation here, y2, we'll refer to our regression equation again. Oops, down to statistics, hit Enter, over to equation, regression equation, and now we have our regression equation. Looks like a mess, but it should work. Now here's our quadratic regression equation that fits the data much more nicely. Okay, so, and we can also, if you want to hide the linear, you can always put the cursor over the equal sign and hit Enter, and notice how now it's no longer black. or filled in. So now when we graph it, it will just show us the quadratic model. That pretty much covers it. We can use the equations to make predictions by going to our home screen, and let's say we want to make a prediction with the linear equation. We can click vars, go to yvars function, y1, and then like this, and put in whatever input we want. So if we want it to predict like what happens after, say, 240 seconds, we can put in 240, and it'll give us the output. And we can see what the quadratic equation would predict by doing the same thing with y2. Here, we'll put in 240 and see what the quadratic model predicts. So the quadratic says it thinks we'll be going at 29.94 will be the water level, whereas the linear model predicted that it'd be at 27.39. So that's all we'll do for now. Hope that's useful.